Okay, let's look at this one here. 500 is invested each month, né? Starting in 1 month's time, né? And then into an account paying 16% per annum compounded monthly. The fund accumulates 10,000. How many payments of 500? Keyword. How many payments of what? Of 500. Yeah? And then they are saying which we have our timeline, which looks like this. T0, we don't put anything. And then we start 1 month after opening the investment account. And then they say, which we are going to do this for TN up until we get to TN there. We don't know what is going to be N. So we are going up until TN. And then they say the funds accumulate 10,000. So if we were to collect data, we have the future value, which is 10,000. We have our X, which is 500. And then we have our I, which is going to be 0.16 divided by 12, since it's compounded monthly. Now, again, we said the best thing that we're going to do is to simplify this thing. If we simplify this thing, then it says which N is going to be equaling to the log, and then it's 1 plus I. Open bracket, it says which you have I future all over X plus 1. So we have something like this by now, and then you will see the more you do this question, this thing, you will start to know them now. To say, okay, the formula looks like this. So after this is just a matter of substituting. So you have the log, yes.
Okay, just go to full marks.
Yeah, it's full marks. It's full marks. Yes. We do have it starts with this formula. I'm sure they are not provided. When we're busy with compound interest formula, they will say for you to calculate the compound interest formula, I think we use something like it says N is going to be equal to the log 1 plus I, and then it says I think it's the accumulated amount all over T. We do have a formula like this one, and then you can simply substitute here. But the problem is that the formula is not provided, this one. We are given the future value, so you just have to work with. Yes. Math, do we mark formulas? We mark you substituting into the correct formula. We don't mark the formula per se. We mark you substituting in the correct formula. If you don't write the formula, I'm going to give you on the information sheet that thing. We mark you like as I'm saying, we're going to mark you substituting in the what in the this is a correct formula, by the way. It's a future value formula which is simplified. So it's a correct formula. So you have 0.16 divided by 12. Open bigger bracket. It says we have I, which is 0.16 divided by 12. All over 500. Multiply. This one it's multiplied by 10,000. And then it says plus 1. Yeah, the other thing here is I've seen the mistake here, which is how do we type this? I will encourage you to type this part on its own. Because the plus 1, it seems to be a problem for learners. So you can type this thing on its own and then you put it there. And then what you get as your end?
17,85.
It's 17,85. Now this is true, because they want to know how many payments of 500. Ne? How many payments are going to be of 500? 17. So the number of payments that are going to be of 500 is going to be 17. But how long did you keep this investment? It's 18 months. I'm not sure if I make sense here. Actually, they want to know how many 500s are you going to put? How many 500s that you're going to put into the account? You're going to put 17 of them. Then we have 0.85, which is not a full month. Can you see that one? Now, 0.85 is not a full month, meaning on the last month, you are not going to put 500, you're going to put something less than. Because if it was 500, you're supposed to get N as 1. Since when you got 0.85, it shows which you're going to be putting maybe something like 300. But all in all, when investment, it's not for 17 months, it's for how many months? For 18 months. Let's say they said how many payments were you going to make? They didn't say how many payments of 500. You're going to say it's 18 months. Because they just said, how many payments did you make? How many payments did you make to get 10,000? You didn't make 17 payments. You made 18. Does that make sense? The only problem is that the last payment, it's less than 500. That is why we have 0, And then they will teach us how to get that. There's a question whereby we call them our last payment. We'll definitely do something like that, whereby we'll be calculating, okay, on the last month, how much did I pay then? If I didn't pay 500, how much did I put in the account? How many months did it take us to have 10,000?